Admir. Just few words about Admir. Admir is assistant professor at International University of Sarajevo. Interesting thing about Admir that he also served in the bank for a long time, so he has also practical as well as academic side. So I will say that Admir has two hats. He can talk about industry because he worked in the industry for quite a while, and also his intellectual development, publication, and so on. Without going any further, Admir, please share your slides, and you have 10 minutes. So keep in mind so that we have some time for discussion and the question.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, dear brother Alija. Can you see the slides?
Yes, we do. Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's an honor to co-host this panel on behalf of Center for Islamic Finance, Innovation and Sustainability at the International University of Sarajevo. I would like to thank the organizers and all of you for joining us today. Okay, so my contribution today is titled Driving Social Impact, Digital Transformation in Islamic Finance. I have some previous experience in this from before. So during and after COVID-19, I was directly involved in digital transformation projects within a Bosnian Islamic bank. Some of you may know about it. It's an IDB project. So those projects kind of showed me both the potential and the limitations of our financial systems. Bosnia, like many other Muslim countries, still operates within, let's say, heavily bank-centric financial structure. There is no proper fintech yet here. What we have from digital transformation, it's in Islamic finance context, it is actually within this bank. So this means that alternative, in most cases, these profit-sharing models that align so closely with the spirit of Islamic finance are still to be developed in future, inshallah. So what is kind of a sad to notice is that in contrast, in many Western contexts, we can see such models functioning very successfully outside of traditional banks. So when you go, I don't know, to UK or United States, you will notice that, all the big companies, Facebook, I don't know, from startup to very, very, let's say, mature stage, they are financed most likely through these profit-sharing models. And when you go to Islamic countries, you, of course, when you learn about Islamic finance, you will learn about musharaka, mudaraba, and other things. However, when you start working in the industry, you will not see any musharaka. And when you ask why, often misuse of funds, mismanagement, lack of accountability, lack of trust, these things are cited most often. So what's the issue here? For example, when I was in Turkey, from one Islamic bank there, they said, we asked about mudaraba, and they said we had mudaraba, I don't know, 20 years ago, and we gave money to the person and he simply ran away. And we couldn't, when he learned about what mudaraba is, he simply mismanaged the funds. And they said, we concluded that we cannot properly implement mudaraba, at least on this asset side. So this is where fintech can make a genuine difference. So building transparency, audibility, real-time reporting, to kind of enhance trust in these models. Brother Edib mentioned many of these things. So I think we all agree that fintech, including blockchain technologies, Amira will talk about these technologies as well, so I will not take a lot of time. So let's say today, these digital technologies, they are not an option we must have. They are essential enablers of financial inclusion and resilience. So in the context of Islamic finance, digital transformation is not only about efficiency. Of course, when we in Western or conventional context, why they implement fintech in banks and outside is usually, to make transactions more efficient and so on. But in Islamic finance, we have this Maqasid Sharia aspect, and fintech and all these technologies can significantly help us with increasing justice, inclusion, and ethical stewardship. So, for example, when we talk about inclusion, it's very important to note that even, for example, I mentioned in Bosnia, we don't have a lot of fintech companies, but in Africa, in many countries where they didn't have proper internet a couple of years ago, today they are using fintech for payment services. So they never used bank. They never used, for example, regular phone, but they are using mobile phone apps now. So they kind of jumped several stages of development. And this is very important for inclusion in these, unfortunately, mostly Muslim countries that are underdeveloped. Then we can talk about expanding access and reducing inequalities. So mobile banking, Islamic fintech applications, blockchain platforms, they are all opening doors for communities that are excluded from formal finance. Also, we have these social finance instruments such as digital zakat or zakat tech. Same way as we have fintech, we have zakat tech or Waqf platforms that they now enable even the smallest donations to be pooled for meaningful social impact. We didn't have this before. I will later on, I will mention some of my personal examples. So crowdfunding initiatives that support social causes, they are already common in Bosnia, but also all around the world. And of course, if you donate to one platform, very often you will see many other promotions, because they will recognize you and they will offer you some other opportunities to donate money. So in many parts of the world, access to Islamic financial products is limited. We don't have proper awareness. Awareness is something we worked a lot on in Islamic finance here in Bosnia, because we had this post-socialist environment. It's a Muslim, kind of Muslim, half Muslim country inside Europe. So we had to work a lot on awareness on what Islamic finance is, what does it mean, together with Islamic community, with brother Said Muaz Shah, we discussed some future projects where again, we have to start with this awareness, what blockchain means for Islamic finance here. Because especially this is very sensitive area where people didn't have some good experience in finance. We had hyperinflation before the war, so many people lost their savings. So now when you approach them and you try to kind of introduce something new, they will not be happy with that. You have to, they have to be really sure that this is not some kind of scam or something like this. So this trust, it has always been the cornerstone of Islamic finance, of course, but digital tools are now reshaping how this trust is built. So we have blockchain, As I said, Amira will mention smart contracts that are based on blockchain. They provide efficient ways of conducting transactions, also digital reporting tools for Zakat, Wakaf, crowdfunding projects, and so on. So this is especially relevant in Europe. As I said, trust in financial system has been repeatedly tested. Even in Germany, when we had hyperinflation, generations after this are still sensitive when it comes to depositing money, when it comes to saving, and so on. And Bosnia, with its small but diverse, let's say, financial market, could also be a test case for how fintech strengthens this accountability and resilience while staying rooted in ethical values. There is other aspect of trust. For the past 2 years, I think, I personally directed my Korbani funds to some African countries, motivated by needs there. At the same time, Bosnians, you start feeling that they don't really appreciate this Korbani meat so much. So, but when you talk with people, of course, they hesitate with such contributions because they cannot see what happens after the payment is made. Even when I paid to Islamic Relief, there was nobody to call you even to say, well, we received the money from you, this is what will happen now. And we had previously, we had some cases of mismanagement, not for Kurbani funds, but for some other funds where people from Africa, were collecting money, but, then some other people realized that, there was a mismanagement. So these digital platforms using tools such as blockchains or real-time reporting apps can provide clear evidence of where funds are going, when the sacrifice is carried out, how the aid is distributed, and so on. This transparency is critical for anything.
If you can just wrap it up because of the time, 1 minute.
Okay, so in Bosnia, as a part of Europe, it calls a unique position. On one hand, it is part of the broader European digital agenda, and we can benefit from that. On the other hand, we have this living heritage of Islamic finance. So this dual identity allows us to pioneer some hybrid models that combine European standards of digital innovation with Islamic ethical principles. I will be open for discussion. Of course, if any of you have questions at the end, I will be happy to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Admir. Without wasting time, we will give you space for the questions at the end. Our next speaker is Edian Latic. She is a researcher and also the student at the same time. She's coming from University of Applied Sciences and Management and Communication in Vienna from Austria. She has also practical experience in the Eurocount rental services, but her strong focus is how she can combine conventional with ethical or Islamic finance together. Adina, please, the floor is yours. 10 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Alija, for the introduction. Well, I will start with a short table of content and explain what the agenda is today. In this presentation, I will briefly explain the background and the motivation of my thesis and define the research objectives and the questions. Then I will introduce the methodology and the theoretical framework. We will look at the current situation in Austria, followed by a summary of the main findings, the synergies, potential, and the international examples. Finally, I will present a key recommendation and conclude with an outlook. So the background and the motivation, the starting point for my research was the growing need to address social inequality and the climate crisis through ethical finance. While the EU is advancing sustainable finance through regulations like the EU taxonomy and the Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation, the SFDR, Islamic finance remains underexplored in Western context. My main research question was, can Islamic finance meaningfully contribute to sustainable finance in Austria? The goal was to identify synergy potential between the two systems and explore whether Islamic finance could enhance Austria's sustainable finance landscape. I addressed the following questions. What are the overlaps between Islamic and sustainable finance? What can we learn from international implementation? And how could Islamic finance be applied in Austria to create new financial products? So, yes, the methodology is I conducted 10 expert interviews with 5 Islamic finance specialists and 5 sustainable finance experts from Austria, from UK, from Malaysia, from Bosnia, and from Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. Then the analysis was followed by Meiring's qualitative content analysis approach, and I complemented it with case studies from international markets. So the theoretical framework was that Islamic finance and sustainable finance share important core values. Islamic finance prohibits interest, for example, it's called riba, speculative trading, and promotes social justice. Sustainable finance is based on ESG criteria and public welfare. Both avoid harmful sectors and prioritize transparency, justice, and long-term value creation. So the current situation in Austria is the following. Islamic finance is currently not present in Austria's financial system. However, the country is implementing the EU SFDR. So we have Article 8 and Article 9. Article 8 covers products that promote environmental or social characteristics, and Article 9 targets products with specific sustainability goals. As of 2023, 42% of all funds in Austria are sustainable, yet Islamic finance remains excluded from this framework. So the key opportunities are the instruments like Green Sukuk or Sharia compliant ESG funds could enrich the sustainable finance market. These products could attract new investor groups, both Muslims and value-oriented investors. And Islamic finance promotes financial inclusion, aligning with sustainable finance goals. The challenges are indeed the EU law does not yet accommodate Islamic contracts forms. There's a little awareness of Islamic finance in Austria's finance and academic sectors. Misconceptions persist that Islamic finance is solely religious rather than economic, and there are no local Sharia advisor boards or educational programs. The synergy potential is high. The expert interviews confirmed strong synergy between the two concepts. Both aim for ethical, inclusive, and social responsible finance. A proper structured green sukuk could qualify under Article 9 of the SFDR, and Austrian Muslim population represents a current underserved investor segment. So, in general, there is a poor financial literacy in Austria, not only regarding Islamic finance, it's in general a quite poor literacy. We have no school or university level education or training in Islamic finance. As I said, there's a lack of local Sharia compliant infrastructure, and it's often misunderstood. And the international best practices are Malaysia, United Kingdom, and Indonesia. Malaysia's first green sovereign sukuk has a strong public backing. In Indonesia, over 5.8 billion raised via green Islamic bonds. And in the UK, the Islamic Finance Council cooperates with public and private sectors. So these countries show that successful integration depends on political support, education, and cross-sector cooperation. My recommendations are to develop local expertise, to introduce academic programs on Islamic finance, to build a Sharia adversary structure, develop pilot products in cooperation with ethical banks, and consider the use of regulatory sandboxes to test compliant products in a safe, supervised space. In conclusion, Islamic finance aligns naturally with sustainable principles. Islamic and sustainable finance can reinforce one another. And Austria has indeed the demand for it because there are 7% Muslims in Austria. That's approximately 700 to 800,000 people. And of course, we need diversity in the products and the strategic innovation. And with this, we can unlock more inclusive financial future. And of course, as I said, we have a lack in the market, so there is no Islamic finance structure or infrastructure in the financial market. So I was very fast, I think. I didn't use all my minutes, but yeah, I want to thank you for your attention, and I hope it was informative. Feel free to.
No, Edina, you are just on time. 10 minutes, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Our next speaker is Haris Zogic. He's also coming with a strong industry experience as well, over 12 years in professional services within the many countries in the Balkan region, but also worldwide. Haris also is head of the finance at University of Novi Pazar, and he's also CEO and founder of Z Finance Consulting, Zainis logistic companies. Haris, without going any further, please, can you share your slides and your thoughts? You have 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. I hope that you see my presentation. Yeah.
Yes, we are okay. You're ready to go.
Okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity to talk here today. I want to say that my today's presentation is Muslim entrepreneurship in Europe, thriving in non-Muslim majority context. So we have a growing Muslim populations, and we see an increasing dynamism among Muslim entrepreneurs entering mainstream markets. So we have the key topics here, which is like resilience in adversity, integration through ethical business, and the contribution to social mobility and cultural identity. Okay. So you see my slides, right? Okay. So why this topic matters? Actually, we have that the situation, so I'll go to my next slide, that there are around 50 million Muslims in Europe approximately today in 2025. So if we take France, Germany, UK, and Italy, and Spain, I think that there are around 20 million. If we take Bosnia and Albania in Balkans, we have also a significant Muslim population. So among these 50 million, there are a lot of individuals who have entrepreneurial skills that can make excellent businesses, but also it is very important to emphasize that there are a lot of, let's say, opportunities, but also a lot of limitations that Muslim entrepreneurs face. So before we continue, I think that it is very important to emphasize what is the Islamic view of entrepreneurship. So in Islam, entrepreneurship is seen as both a way to earn a living and a religious duty. We have a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who says that Allah prefers a strong Muslim among the weak ones. So when we say strong, we have physical strength and financial or economic strength. So those individuals who are strong financially financially strong were able to finance campaigns and to make Islam strong. So this is why entrepreneurship plays a significant role in Islam. So we have the concept of profit maximization, which is allowed, but not at all cost. We have boundaries that we must follow, and we have boundaries that we cannot surpass in order to earn profit. So what do we have here as a young European Muslim entrepreneurs are actually adapting mainstream products into Islamized versions. This allows them to reflect their religiosity identity while staying in line with modern trends. Their businesses span national and cultural boundaries while helping to overcome marginalization. So this is, let's say, a pyramid, step-by-step pyramid of an entrepreneurial journey with steps how to build a strong business. So we have some basics, which is building community and networks, which is very significant and important when we have the story of Muslims in Europe. Why? Because first of all, we have to develop strong networking among Muslims. We can see in major European cities such as Rotterdam or London or Vienna or Munich and other cities that there are a lot of streets and parts of city with majority Muslim population, and they have a lot of restaurants, they have a lot of businesses, and they have strong networking among themselves. We have strong networking among ourselves. So we do not have the luxury to divide ourselves. We do not have the luxury to talk about differences. We have to establish strong networking among ourselves, then to share that networking, or to go to another step to establish a strong networking with non-Muslims and as well. So the next step is forming partnerships and trust, and then driving innovation and teamwork, and of course reaching market visibility and scaling. So in the very first slide, we mentioned resilience is a very important aspect, and it is a key strength. So concepts like ikhtiyar, which is an active effort, and tawakkul, which is trust in divine outcome, provide emotional and physical balance. So personal traits such as negotiation, risk-taking, optimism, proactiveness make SMEs, businesses, entrepreneurs, startups more resilient, especially when anchored in religiosity. So when we talk about entrepreneurship among Muslims in Europe, we have to talk about challenges that we face. I myself, I'm also an entrepreneur in Serbia, but I think that I didn't face challenges and hardships that maybe entrepreneurs in France or Germany face, because you know, there are a lot of boundaries when you start and when you want to establish a business in the heart of Europe as a Muslim. So access barriers like complex regulations, low awareness of Islamic finance, socio-cultural exclusion. Then we have difficulty in mobilizing capital, which is the main difficulty for us as well in Balkans, due to limited Sharia compliant options and no access to conventional credits. And also, you know, banks are not willing to finance startups in all other parts of the world, not just in case of Muslims in Europe. So market limitations with weak institutional support that push many to rely on informal networks, and also marginalization, fragmented identity, and limited visibility hinder the legitimacy. So when we talk about challenges, we have to pay attention to opportunities as well. So there are a lot of opportunities for Muslims in Europe. We saw the numbers in the very beginning. So 50 million is not a small number, and also it is increasing year by year. The estimation until 2050, I think there will be around 70 million Muslims in Europe. So we have growing markets for halal and ethical products. This is the opportunity. We also have the ethical advantage of Islamic principles that build trust. So this is a main strength that we have to rely on. So an ethical advantage of Islamic way of conducting business is very important. Strong community and diaspora networks, policy momentum with increasing recognition of Islamic finances is very important, and the energy of youth and innovation driving new ideas. So what are strategies for Muslim entrepreneurs? There are a lot of strategies, and also there are no general strategies that all Muslim entrepreneurs in Europe can follow. So they differ from country to country, or even they differ from region to region. Strategies for me as a Muslim in Serbia, in Sanjak region, and strategy for a Muslim in the north of Serbia, in Novi Sad, are different. But let's say some general strategies that can be underlined here are as follow. Strengthening financial literacy and exploring hybrid financing, leveraging community and diaspora networks, building visibility and engaging with policymakers, emphasizing ethical and value-based branding, investing in digital skills and innovation, and adapting through partnerships and collaboration. I wanted to come with some successful stories as well, but there are a lot of case studies and successful stories, so I didn't have the luxury to choose one or to choose two of them. But we can say that across Europe, we already saw and we see every day inspiring success stories of Muslim entrepreneurs and businessmen. So they built thriving businesses in halal food, fashion, fintech, showing how faith-based values can align with innovation and modern consumer needs. So we have from halal startups, in London, to some tech ventures in Germany, to Austria, also here in Balkans. So we can see that, and we prove that resilience and creativity can overcome barriers and lead to strong market positions. So these stories are not only about economic success, they also bridge cultures, strengthen inclusion, and inspire new generation of entrepreneurs. So for the end, I hope that I didn't breach my time. So Muslim entrepreneurs in Europe, are thriving despite challenges. There are a lot of challenges. Yes, I'm finishing. So there are a lot of challenges, but we can say that Muslims are coming from very harsh environments, and when you live in harsh environments or when you have origins in, let's say, not so strong economies, then you have this entrepreneurial gene, that can help you to succeed in Europe. So with resilience, ethical innovation, and the right strategies, Muslims can really build a successful entrepreneurial story in Europe. Thank you very much. I'm willing and will be happy to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Haris. Our last speaker is Amira Selimovic Fijuljanin. Amira is a PhD graduate from Sarajevo University, and her close specialty is actually into fintech, Bitcoin, and digital economy in general, but also the management is in her heart. Amira is also quite active, or her main experience comes from the public sector, and Amira will share with us her thoughts on her topic. Please, Amira, share your slides and start. You have 10 minutes.
So, assalamu alaikum everyone, and good afternoon. As you already heard, my name is Amira Selimovic Fijuljanin, and I have a PhD degree in management with a special focus on blockchain technology. So today I'm going to talk about blockchain technology and zakat. So two concepts that seem far apart at first glance, yet together they basically hold enormous potential to change and redefine the way we perceive social finance, as well as on transparency and digital innovation. So as you all know, zakat is one of 5 pillars of Islam, and it has always been a cornerstone of social justice and also solidarity within Muslim societies. At the other hand, we have blockchain technology, so one of the most disruptive technologies of our time. So basically, blockchain technology offers really powerful tools for basically ensuring transparency, traceability, and accountability. So today, together, we are gonna basically bring these two together and talk about how basically they can open and create new pathways for more transparent, more secure, and more impactful Zakat management, basically reimagining centuries-old practices through lens of digital transformation. So let's begin. As already mentioned at the beginning, so Zakat is one of 5 pillars of Islam, and it basically plays a really important and crucial role when it comes to the reducing poverty, promoting social justice, and also when it comes to ensuring fair wealth distribution. However, traditional Zakat systems are often perceived as inefficient or even mismanaged. That can basically lead to a decline in public trust and also in reduce of participation when it comes to the formal Zakat giving. So as a result, nowadays many people prefer giving Zakat directly to individuals, meaning outside of official Islamic institutions. However, while this satisfies the religious obligation, it basically limits the broader impact that Zakat could have on society. So Zakat has always been more than just a charity. It's basically a form of obligatory form of wealth redistribution, and in early days in Islamic societies, it's been institutionalized as a part of government. So the Caliph Omar ibn al-Khattab basically established a systematic approach of collecting and also of redistribution of Zakat funds. So this institutionalization made Zakat basically not only religious duty, but it made it part of governments. But today, this Zakat distribution is uneven across Muslim countries. So in some countries it's institutionalized, while in other is basically it's voluntary and it's highly decentralized. Also, it faces different challenges, such as a low compliance rate, meaning that many eligible Muslims do not calculate or even do not pay a Zakat correctly. Also, we have some issues with the transparency, meaning that donors don't know how their funds are managed. Also, we have some trust issues. This all trust issues basically appear because of some cases of corruption and also because of some cases of mismanaged of funds. So basically, this all is visible in my country, in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Bosnia and Herzegovina is a post-conflict semi-secular country with a strong tradition of Islamic charitable practices. But despite this, many people are still skeptical about how their funds are managed. And also system struggles with issues such as outdated processes and also we have transparency issues. So this also was confirmed in our research that I did with my colleagues. So basically, we explore the views of Bosnian Muslims when it comes to the Zakat and blockchain technology. So when we asked our when we asked respondents about Zakat collection methods, majority of them answered that they are giving Zakat directly to other people in need, so outside of Islamic institution. And also, we were wondering why, and the majority of our respondents answered that they have trust issues when it comes to the Islamic institutions. So only 10.8% of our respondents answer that they trust Islamic institutions to a full extent. This is basically where blockchain technology comes in. So for those who are not that familiar with the blockchain technology is, as I already mentioned, disruptive technology that basically it's really popular nowadays. You can picture blockchain technology as a decentralized database of records. So everything that happens inside a blockchain system is recorded inside of blocks, and blocks are highly secured by using something that's called cryptographic hash function, meaning that once something is entered inside of blocks, it cannot be changed, and blocks are connected with the previous block. In that way, they are basically creating one-way chain. So remember that anything that is entered inside a block cannot be changed. So also you can picture blockchain, maybe the easiest way you can picture it is if you picture a notebook in which everyone can write in, but when something is written, it cannot be changed. And also every participant inside of a blockchain system will have a copy of that notebook, ensuring that basically there is just one version of a truth. So there is no centralized authority, everything is decentralized. And because of its characteristics, such as transparency, traceability, accountability, it's faster, it's more secure. It's often used in many different ways and in many different sectors. So initially it was only used in finance, but currently it's used in many sectors. So we can say that blockchain is used basically to rebuild the trust. So blockchain is basically used where trust has been weakened. So nowadays we live in communities where people often wonder whether their money, data, vote is being used basically in a way that it should be used. And that's where basically blockchain comes in. And basically blockchain can restore the trust, and blockchain can give us and provide us transparency, traceability, and security that often traditional systems cannot. So here is when we can connect blockchain technology and Zakat. So picture a system where donors could track their donation from the moment they give their funds in real time to the end where beneficiaries are receiving.
Amira, try to wrap it up. 1 minute, please.
Sure. And also picture a system where institutions are using smart contracts based on blockchain technology to automatically calculate the percentage of funds and to automatically distribute that funds to intended beneficiary according to the predefined rules. So this is only possible if we are using blockchain technology. And in our research, when we asked our respondents whether they are willing to use this type of technology, the majority of them answered yes. So to conclude, we can say that Zakat is far more than just an act of worship. We can basically see it as a powerful tool that can enhance many things. So here in digital era, we can basically use blockchain technology to transform Zakat. So by renewing Zakat, we are not replacing technology with tradition. We are just renewing Zakat with innovation in a way that Zakat will still continue to fulfill its social and spiritual mission of 21st century and beyond.